Hey guys, welcome back for another Trick Tip Tuesday, and today I'm going to talk about template material. So, I've tried to use a lot of different stuff over the years when it comes to making templates for brackets, custom sheet metal parts, that sort of thing. I've tried everything from just regular paper to cardboard, and some other things in between. But the one thing I always go back to, because it's just the best, to me it's the best all-around template material, because basically as you're using a template, especially if you're trying to make a template that's going to last you, maybe a couple of uses, that sort of thing. If you're using a standard sheet of white paper, it's thin, it's flimsy, it's a little bit frail once you start, working with it more than just for a single use part, that sort of thing. So that's why I said I've never liked paper for that aspect of it. Cardboard, it's just too thick, too hard, it's not flexible. If it does bend, it's weird bends or kinks, that sort of thing. So what I've always gone back to is just standard poster board material. So like I said, it's sturdy enough, it's thick enough. So, it's thick enough to where it holds its shape. It stays, relatively intact, over time. You can hold on to it for a while. This template I've had for years. This was a template I made to be able to mark out hole locations in a floor for mounting a parking brake handle. That's an aftermarket parking brake handle. So, made this template, and I've probably used this, at least a dozen times in the car, but it's been sitting around in my toolbox for a long time also. But, it still holds up. It's still square where I need it. Still got the hole locations in it, and I would still use it right now on a project if I was going to be using this. So it holds up that way. This was a template that we used not that long ago on a hood project that we made a video for. So basically, this was for laying out sheet metal or the shape of a cutout in the hood. So, it's sturdy enough to where it's going to hold its shape, but it's also flexible enough to where you can bend it around curves, and you can give it a nice even curve in the in this where it's going to lay on something, that sort of thing. So it's the best of both worlds on that. So using it for different, being able to mark lines on tubing, slide it over that way. So, I just buy the standard sheets. They're 28 by 22 inches, and then you cut them down, from there into whatever size you need. And one sheet can really go a long way. Some of the reasons, like I said, I don't like using cardboard, even for flat bracket stuff. So let's say you mark out something and you cut your edge. It can be cut with scissors, but your edge ends up being a little bit rough, even though you use scissors on it, because there's multiple layers of the cardboard. So when you actually go to draw a line on something, even though I just cut that edge with scissors, the line ends up a little bit wavy and choppy because of the edge of the cardboard not being nice and flat with the multiple layers that are in there. But with poster board, if you take that, you can cut an edge off, lay it down on whatever you're working on and draw that nice edge that you just cut, and it's going to leave you a straight line. So also when it comes to, let's say you need to make a template to duplicate a bracket, or you have a bracket that you need to slightly modify, but you need to trace out that bracket. One of the cool things I like about poster board as opposed to cardboard, if I had a piece of cardboard that was bigger than this bracket, if you lay it on here, if you try to trace out this bracket on cardboard, it still doesn't come out as nice on the cardboard, even if you're using a pen or something, because again of the multiple layers of cardboard, you end up with little bumpy areas that aren't totally smooth. So that ends up getting transferred in your lines, and it's just not as good for transfer in that realm. But if you lay that on poster board, you can easily write on it with a pen, and you're going to have real nice, accurate template being able to be transferred from another bracket. So again, like I said, just something I've always gone back to is poster board material because of its flexibility and the ways you can use it. You know, there's certain applications. You know, if you're working on a sheet metal part and you need to get something with a lot of curve in it, maybe sometimes a thinner paper is good for that. Maybe not standard paper, but I do use some paper that's a rolled paper that would be probably a little thicker than a standard sheet of paper, but thinner than poster board, and it's going to lay on curved surfaces a little better and kind of wrinkle up to be able to create compound curves in the paper, you know, to lay out templates for making let's say a fender or something like that. But other than that, poster board is pretty much always my go-to template material for just using, you know, and working on general fabrication projects. So hopefully this tip will help you out in your shop and give you something to try out when it comes to making templates for your project. So send us your email ideas for these trick tip videos to tips@Trick-Tools.com. And thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next week.